to say that it's Harmony Korine's best film is kind of damning with faint praise, because in the past I've just found Harmony Korine utterly insufferable. You know, he started out writing Kids, which Kids was best described. There was a reviewer in America, I think it was a Village Voice reviewer, who said it was a right-wing, rabble-rousing, tell-me-off-a-thon. And I think that's absolutely right. And then since then, he's directed things like Julian Donkey Boy, which was terrible, Gummo, which was terrible, Ken Park, which was, he wrote Ken Park, didn't he, which was pretty... Oh, he directed Mr. Lonely, which was terrible. Just all these kind of awful sort of self-obsessed, navel-gazing, art movies. And I remember there was a front cover of a magazine, one of the Sunday supplements once, which had a picture of him on the front. It said, "This is the future of cinema." You thought, no, it isn't. This is just it's a publicity thing. So the fact that Harmony Korine has made a film that's even vaguely watchable is something. The scene that was being referred to in that email that you just read out, there is a sequence in it with James Franco playing the piano, playing this Britney Spears song, surrounded by the heroines wearing bikinis and pink balaclavas whilst holding machine guns, and he sings this Britney Spears song against this sort of very, very kind of neon red, sunsetty sort of sky. And the whole thing is sort of shimmeringly beautiful, weird, odd image. And the best you can say about Spring Breakers is that it does have things in it that suggest that there is a vision in there. I mean, Harmony Korine, however insufferable he may have been, is at least somebody who has, he has an idea. The problem is, in the past, the idea has been sort of fairly insufferable. When James King reviewed this last week, he said it's one of those films that you either love or you hate. And I disagree completely, because I didn't love or hate it. For a lot of it, I was quite bored, because it does do that kind of that navel-gazing, noodling, pootling around thing. In terms of whether it's exploitative or exploratory, it's basically the story. Like all these exploitation movies, and if you could say this about Ms. 45, Angel of Vengeance, the Abel Ferrara film. There is at the centre of it a story which is about the friendship between these girls, and the fact of the matter is that those girls are the centre of the drama, and their friendship is the most important thing, and obviously that's interesting and empowering. On the other hand, it's directed by somebody who would like them to be friends in bikinis for most of the time, and to try and pretend that Harmony Korine doesn't have a leery eye in the same way as as Larry Clark does, because obviously where he started out is I think to do him and the film. He does have an exploitative eye. There's no two ways about it. The interesting thing was, in the screening that I saw it, there were some people a few rows ahead of me who were talking all the way through the film, and behind them were a couple of people who I kind of expected would tell them to shut up, but they didn't. Later, I think those people tweeted me, say, "We were in that same screening as you, and we would have told those people to shut up had it mattered at all whether or not somebody was talking." And it was one of the few films I've seen recently in which it didn't matter that people were talking in the audience, because nothing anyone was saying on screen was of any great relevance. There are arresting images in it. I mean, as that thing I was just talking about with the piano and the machine guns and the balaclavas is a peculiar, arresting image. It is, like all of Harmony Korine stuff, unbelievably self-indulgent and full of itself. It does have much more about it that is watchable and interesting than anything he's made before, although, as I said, that is kind of damning with faint praise, because I do think that in the past some of his movies have been, all of his movies have been utterly insufferable, and there is something in there, but it's nothing like as clever as it thinks it is. I mean, in fact, in terms of that thing about, on the one hand it's teens on the rampage doing bad criminal stuff, but with this kind of melancholic arts thing. I mean, essentially that's Risky Business. I mean, people forget that Risky Business has this weird syntho soundtrack, and in the middle of all the the Tom Cruise becoming a pimp and all that stuff going on, there's this vaguely melancholic thing going on in the background. And the people who defend Spring Breakers are saying that it's a great interesting genre busting. No, it's not. People have been doing this sort of thing with genre movies for an awfully long time. That said, it's not utterly insufferable. It's quite boring in some places. There are arresting images in it, and the performances by the leads are all are actually pretty good. I mean, they're all doing good work. So clearly, what Korine has managed to do is get good performances out of them, and he does have a strange and arresting eye. So Harmony Korine's best film to date.